Good morning, class 1. It's Friday today, time for our science class. So what do you think we are going to learn today? We are going to learn about the life cycle of a frog. Okay? So this is the third life cycle that we are going to learn this term. Okay, we have already done the life cycle of a butterfly, the life cycle of a ladybug or a ladybird, and today let us find out what are the different stages in the life cycle of a frog. Are you ready? Okay, so let's see what are the different stages. What do you think this is? A frog? Yes. And look at this frog. A red frog. Have you ever seen a red frog? Not me. And this is a blue frog. The red and the blue frog are poisonous. Okay. And this is the frog that I have made. So let's say that she is the female, the mother frog. The mother frog will lay her, what do you think these are? These are eggs. So a female will lay a lot of eggs in water or pond. So this is the first stage. Okay? Do they look similar? Yes. The eggs, the cluster of eggs, and look at the cluster of eggs. Do they look like jelly? Yes. And let's find out what is this cluster called. This cluster is called frog spawn. Okay. And let's see what information I have written over here. First, a female frog lays a lot of eggs in water. So I have already told you that the mother frog will lay a lot of eggs in water or a pond. And this is called, the cluster is called a frog spawn. What is it called? A frog spawn. Okay, this is a new term now. See? And the eggs float on water in a jelly mass or cluster. So all the eggs are in a cluster and they float. Okay. The first stage, eggs, they are in a cluster and they are called frog spawn. So now, what do you think will hatch from the eggs? A caterpillar or a larva? Let's find out now. So the eggs will hatch into these tadpoles. Remember this little creature? Yes? Do you think it looks like a frog? No, it looks like a fish. Yes. So the eggs will hatch into tadpoles, and this is my tadpole over here. Okay, and it looks like a fish. Yes. And remember, what do fish have? They have gills. We have lungs. Fish have gills. So the tadpoles also have gills because this will help them to breathe, because they are like fish. They swim and they live in water. So they have gills. And what do you think they eat? They eat plants. They eat plants and then they grow. Yes. So these are tadpoles. Tadpoles hatch from the eggs Yes, they eat plants and they have gills and they look like fish. See, this is the head, this is the body, and what do you think this is? The tail. Okay, now this is a tadpole. The head, the body, and the tail. See, the head is big, yes, compared to the body. Okay, so this is a tadpole and it is like a fish. They eat plants and they have tails and they swim. Okay, now, oh, what is this? Now, this is very interesting, children, because in the life cycle of a frog, there are many changes that take place. Okay, so remember the tadpole. The tadpole has a head, a body, and a tail. But something really interesting happens. Can you see these two legs? Okay, so this is another stage in the life cycle of a frog that it will develop two legs first. Okay, so when the legs develop, what is happening? It is changing into a frog. So along with the legs, the lungs also develop. Okay, the tadpoles have gills. Remember that they have gills and they don't have legs, but these tadpoles will change into this. So in this stage, what is happening? Two legs are developing and the lungs are also developing. So that's quite interesting. Yes. And let's see. This is a tadpole with two legs. Still, the head is there, the body is there, the tail is there, but how many legs? Two legs. And how many legs do frog have? Do they have two or do they have four? You can't see the fourth one because it is here, but they have four legs. So how many legs do tadpoles have? Initially they have two. Let's see if they will get two more now. Now this tadpole is growing. Okay, so some changes are happening, and let's see what are the changes that are happening now. Can you see the changes now? See, 1, 2, 3, 4. So slowly, what will happen? The tadpole will develop two more legs. Okay, so now it will have four legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will have the tail. Look at this tadpole. So this is a tadpole with two legs on this side and two are on the other side. So this tadpole will slowly develop four legs. Okay, and this is the tail. Now, when the tadpoles develop their legs, they can come out from the water or the pond and they can start hopping. So have you seen a frog hop? Yes. So it is because when it is growing, the tadpole is growing, they develop legs and then they develop lungs. When you live on land, जब हम जमीन पे रहते हैं, so we should have a pair of lungs. Okay, so that is very important. So it is developing the legs and the lungs, and once all these organs develop, it's time for this tadpole to hop out and start jumping. Now let's see. Look at the tadpole with 2 front legs and 2 hind legs. Okay, so let me put this away and it's here. See, the tadpole with 4 legs, and this is the tadpole that I have made with 4 legs. You can see just 2 because the other 2 are on the other side. Okay, now let us see what else is happening. Oh, can you see this? This looks like a frog now, yes, but what is that? That's a tail. The tail is shrinking. See, over here the tail is very long, but now the tail is shrinking. Tail choti ho rahi hai. Okay, so now I think this small baby frog is becoming a frog, an adult frog. Okay, and see, slowly what will happen, this tail will disappear. Okay, it will shrink and it will become a frog, a real frog. It will become a real frog. Okay, and there's one more thing I just forgot to mention, that is this frog is called a froglet. What is it called? A froglet. Okay, this is a tadpole, this is a froglet, and a froglet will change into a frog. And what do frogs eat? Do they eat plant or do they eat insects? They eat plants. So this is the adult frog or the mother frog. She will lay her eggs, and these eggs are called egg spawns. Yes, the eggs hatch into tadpoles. Yes, the baby frogs are called tadpoles. Then what will happen? First 2 legs will appear, and then 2 more will appear. The tail will shrink and the tadpole will become a froglet, and then when finally the tail has disappeared, what will happen? It will become a adult frog. So this is the life cycle of a frog. Okay, so there are some more stages in the life cycle of a frog. Okay, so the eggs hatch into tadpoles. Remember, tadpoles, caterpillars, larvae. Okay, these are some of the terms now you know. Okay, so let's look at this life cycle once again. The mother frog, yes, the mother frog will lay her eggs. The eggs hatch into tadpoles. Then tadpole with 2 legs and a tail. Then the tadpole with 4 legs and again the tail, but this time what is happening? The tail is shrinking. And then the tadpole with 4 legs will turn into a froglet. Remember, froglet, froglet. And then when the tail disappears, it becomes a adult frog. So these are the different stages in the life cycle of a frog. Remember the terms that we have learned these today. Okay,